The coffee is black. The robot is kicking up a storm. And I'd like to welcome you to Modeling the Blog Daily for Friday, June the 27th. And today I'm going to talk about the art of creativity. I did this last night, and I called it a technique reciprocating radar. And a rather unique animal. It actually moves the radar back and forth. I wanted to kind of show you the genesis of this idea and to give you an insight as to how I think. I was thinking yesterday afternoon about a model that I built called an eccentric press. And this is on YouTube, and you can see the up and down motion of the eccentric press. I did that with Merkur. By the way, I love Merkur. Merkur is one of my favorite metal kits, and I'm going to be getting back into the Merkur metal. The Glider 2 is a Merkur kit, and I'll be doing metal one of these days. Not necessarily rock metal, hard metal, but I'll be working in the metal. Anyhow, that got me to thinking about doing a machine with Lego. And I recalled, I have a kit, it's a Technique Universal kit called 8032. I did a kind of a real neat guy on a bar where you turn the crank and he went up and down, and I thought, well, that would be a good starting point. So what I did, I built this model up yesterday, and you can see the gist of the model where I used this in the crank, and then I took out the guy, because that wasn't the idea. The idea was to get up and down motion. Of course, I had the up and down motion, and I put a bar in there and a beam, and I said, well, what could I do with this now? Instead of just making like a metal press and going up and down like an eccentric press, what if I could convert this motion into something more? Well, the kit had one of these flat gears, and so I'll put that in there and see what I could do. Then I added this, and I realized that if I could catch the momentum and force of the movement at the right time, I could move this gear. So I started experimenting, guys, with the levers, and then I showed you last night how you can change them. And anyhow, one thing led to another, and before you know it, I had a pretty neat reciprocating radar. Well, what do you do with something like this? Well, yeah, you can just chuck it, or you can expand it. Now, how would you expand something like this? What if you could take this and make it like a switch? So what I've done is I built a rotating switch to put in this reciprocating radar to make it to where I don't have to tear it apart manually and do it. For example, right now it's set up to go up and down and hit the gear, and it'll make it go back and forth in reciprocating fashion. Well, you take this off, and it's hard to do with one hand, guys, and move it like that, and put it like that, and that makes it go, it doesn't reciprocate anymore. In other words, so the idea was, how can I automate that? So I've made this little box. Let me put the box in. I'm just doing all kinds. I'm very ambidextrous sometimes. Okay, now what I have is I have a rotating switch. The switch like that will make it reciprocate, and like that will make it go in one direction. See how it's going in one direction right there? Now I flipped it and it's reciprocating. See, I've expanded the idea. I'm trying to show you the creative process. Now, how could you even expand this further? Well, I mean, you could, the sky's the limit now. Now you have a rotating switch that will control the reciprocation or rotation of the radar. If you can tie this in mechanically to the rotation, you could actually control the number of times this thing turned, the number of pulses that it would pulse. In other words, you can pretty much make a computer, a mechanical computer, out of Lego. What the computer would do, basically, it would control the rotation of this. In a sense, I have one switch that controls the movement, either reciprocating or pulsing. If I even modified it further, I could control the switch, which in turn would control the... So in other words, you can control the switch with another series of levers, and you can get more sophisticated. That's what they did with the Android... I call them androids, the mechanical wonder machines of the 1700s, where they built handwriting machines and things like that. They had machines that did movements based on movements. That's what this would be. Anyway, I'm trying to get you guys to think creatively, because it really is fun. It really is fun. And you can see what I've opened up with one little kit, a $6 kit on Amazon, an 8032 universal kit, added a couple bricks and a motor, and I got myself a college degree's worth of mechanical engineering. Bill and Red having too much fun on a Friday morning, saying sayonara to you and yours, and wishing you for a wonderful day ahead. See you later, alligator.